After a week that included the collapse of talks with North Korea and congressional testimony from his former fixer, Michael Cohen, the president needed a soft place to land, and he found it at CPAC on Saturday night.
You know I'm totally off script right now. This is how I got elected, by being off script. Please get us the emails. Please. They don't respect us. They think we're stupido. They don't respect us. What's your name? Sir, my name is Raisin. What the hell kind of a name? I said, raisin, like the fruit? I'm going to regret this speech. This speech should have been delivered 1 year from now, not now, damn it. There's so much love in this room. It's easy to talk. You can talk your heart out.
So much love. For more than 2 hours, the president felt the love, offering the crowd at CPAC a look inside his head, serving up a free-flowing narrative that touched on everything from China tariffs and crowd sizes to socialism and the Secret Service. It was his longest speech ever as president, and also included so many false statements. The total for Saturday alone hit 104, according to the Washington Post, that it is the fourth lyingest day, according to the Post, in Donald Trump presidential history. Congressman Ryan Costello, former congressman, and Dr. Basil Smikle. So congrats on the doctorate. Now I'm going to really sit up even taller. You can listen to what you have to say. But I'm going to start with you, Congressman, because you were quoted in a big New York Times article, and I think it's relevant here. You were quoted about Pennsylvania winning over some of these swing states, right? How important are events like that where it counts? We know it's firing up the people who are there, who can get stuff organized. But to the crowd who is out there, sounded to me, this is a man who knows his audience.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a perfect illustration of him going on stage and making the people that don't like him not like him even more, and the people that love him even more. It was a comedy show. I mean, that right there is Trump at the WWF.
He hugged the flag.
It's just a show. It's just a show. It's not to be taken seriously, in my opinion.
And he goes back over the things that he knows works for him and gins up the base. Let me play. There he was again, hugging the flag. One thing he said again about the DNC hacked emails.
If you tell a joke, if you're sarcastic, if you're having fun with the audience, if you're on live television with millions of people and 25,000 people in an arena, and if you say something like, Russia, please, if you can, get us Hillary Clinton's emails. Please, Russia, please. So everybody's having a good time. I'm laughing. We're all having fun. And then that fake CNN and others say, he asked Russia to go get the emails. Horrible.
He was just kidding, Basil.
No, he wasn't. And if I start to see people being burned in effigy at these things, I would not be surprised. This is scary stuff. And why I have a problem with this, because it's not leadership and it's not governance. He is consistently in campaign mode. And what scares me about a rally like this and his language there is that those folks are electing people to office. They're electing people to Congress. So when we talk about trying to work across the aisle, or we're trying to at least bring people to some middle ground, there is no chance of that when you see rallies like this and you hear him talk this way.
New York Magazine's Olivia Nuzzi saw that 2-hour-plus speech this way. My theory about these public spectacles, which in no way mimic how human beings typically communicate, is that they are an exercise Trump must perform when he needs to process the stresses and disappointment of a particularly bruising period.
There's some psychology there. I would probably tend to agree with it. I would also add, you had mentioned about how there's nothing really in the form of governance or leadership when he does those soliloquies. A lot of Republicans feel that way, too, right? I mean, I think a lot of Republicans would like him to lean in on some policy prerogatives, particularly now with the Democratic House, on an infrastructure bill, maybe some cybersecurity measures. There's some areas where even Republicans would like him to focus on that.
But the fact that there's no depth there, the fact that we know he doesn't like to read in on this stuff, that he doesn't do the work that's necessary, doesn't stop them from full-throated support.
And I'm not so sure that the folks there were looking for policy depth. I mean, there are a lot of conservative conservatives who look at CPAC and say, you know, that doesn't fully reflect young conservatives across the country. It's more about, you know, folks that get riled up and like to go to those events and do that sort of stuff.
It is interesting to look at the polls. Okay, so 41% of registered voters say they definitely or probably will vote for him in 2020. Definitely or probably won't, 48%. You'd think that they would look at that and get very nervous. But his job approval rating, I said this earlier, almost 90% with Republicans. His overall approval rating has inched up to about 46%. And we don't yet know who's going to be running against him. So with all of that said, if you have a strong economy, what do you think?
There are a lot of voters that I talk to, Democratic voters, that, you know, feel that he's going to be reelected. That scares me.
They're very nervous because they learned the lesson in 2016.
Absolutely right. And so, yes, it will take time for one candidate from the Democratic Party to emerge to take him on. There is a question about electability versus progressive politics. I think it's going to take time, sadly, because we have 20 people in the race right now.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.